A plane's engine suddenly exploded during flight at 37,000 feet. The captain desperately asked, "Any pilots here?" Everyone was frozen in fear and panic. Then a quiet girl, invisible to everyone, stood up. She walked to the cockpit. She took the controls. She had one chance to save 200 lives. Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. Flight 447 from Seattle to New York left the gate at 9:45 a.m. on a normal Tuesday morning. The airplane was full. 200 people filled almost every seat. Families going on vacation. Business people going to meetings. Old people going to see their grandchildren. Young students going to start college. Everyone had a reason to be on this flight. Nobody noticed the young woman in seat 24F. She was maybe 30 years old. She wore dark clothes, a gray sweater and black jeans. She had a small backpack and nothing else. When other passengers walked past her seat, they did not look at her. She was not ugly. She was not strange. She was just, not there. Not in the way people see you. Not in the way people remember you. Her face was smooth and calm. Her eyes were empty. She looked like someone who had no feelings. She did not smile. She did not frown. She just existed. Like a ghost sitting in a seat. She sat by the window and looked out at the ground below. She did not talk to anyone. She did not smile at anyone. She did not ask for water or coffee. She just sat there, very still, like someone made of stone. Like someone who did not want to be part of the world. The man in seat 24E tried to talk to her many times. "Hello, I'm going to New York for work," he said. "I hate these long flights. Do you travel much? What is your name?" The girl turned her head a little bit. She looked at him for 1 second. Then she looked back out the window. She did not say one word. No response. Nothing. The man tried again. "The weather will be good in New York, I heard. Have you been there before?" "I go there every month. I know a great restaurant in Times Square." Still nothing. No answer. The girl just stared at the clouds outside. The man gave up after the second try. He opened his computer and started working on spreadsheets. He forgot about the girl completely. She was gone from his mind. Just like she was gone from everyone's mind. Even the flight attendants forgot about her. They asked other people what they wanted to drink and eat. They asked them about their trips and their families. They joked and laughed with other passengers. But when they came to seat 24F, they did not really see the girl. They asked in a quiet voice, almost whispered, as if they did not want to bother her, "What would you like to drink, miss?" The girl pointed at water. She did not say thank you. She did not smile. The attendants moved away and did not think about her again. She was already forgotten. This was exactly what the girl wanted. This was her plan. Her name was Emma Chen. She was a trained pilot. She had 15 years of flying experience. She had been in the United States Air Force for over a decade. She had taught other pilots how to fly. She had trained hundreds of pilots on how to handle emergencies. She was one of the best pilots anyone had ever known. But today, she wanted to be invisible. She wanted to be nobody. She wanted to disappear. Why? Because 3 months ago, something terrible happened. Her father died in a plane crash. He was a fighter pilot too. His name was Robert Chen. He loved flying more than anything in the world. Flying was his life. Flying was what made him happy. He died doing what he loved. He was performing in an air show. He was doing tricks in the sky. He was showing people what a pilot could do. Then something small broke in his airplane. Something that should have been easy to fix. But her father made one small mistake. One tiny decision that was wrong. His plane fell from the sky. After that day, Emma could not fly anymore. Flying made her scared. Flying made her remember her father falling from the sky. Flying made her remember his last day alive. She could see it in her mind every time she thought about flying. She could hear the sound of the crash. She could feel the sadness. She quit her job in the Air Force. She left everything behind. She did not know what to do with her life anymore. Flying was all she knew. Flying was all she loved. But now flying was the thing she hated most. She spent 2 months sitting in her house in Seattle, not leaving, not talking to anyone. She did not call her mother. She did not answer emails from friends. She just sat there, remembering her father. Remembering the day he died. Then one day, she decided something important: I have to get on a plane. I have to prove to myself that I can still travel. I have to prove to myself that I am not broken. I have to show myself that flying is not only about death. Flying is also about living. So she bought a ticket on flight 447. She got on this plane today. She sat in the back, far away from the front. Far away from the cockpit where pilots worked. She tried to be nobody. She thought, if I do not talk about flying, if I do not think about flying, if I am not really part of this plane, then maybe I can get through this flight without having a panic attack. Maybe I can prove that I can still travel. This plan seemed to be working perfectly. She had been on the plane for 2 hours and nothing bad had happened. She was going to make it. She did not know that everything was about to change. She did not know that in the next few minutes, she would need to be someone again. She did not know that her hidden skills would be the only thing standing between 200 people and death. The plane had been flying for 2 hours and 15 minutes. The flight was smooth. Everyone was calm. Most people were sleeping or watching movies on the little screens in front of their seats. The flight attendants were serving snacks and drinks to people. Everything was normal. Everything was safe. Then something terrible happened. Emma heard a very loud boom. Not like a door closing. Not like a normal sound. A huge explosion sound that came from outside the airplane. A sound that was violent and wrong. The whole plane shook hard. Very hard. So hard that people's heads hit the seats in front of them. She opened her eyes immediately. Her pilot instinct woke up. She knew something was very wrong. Boom. Another explosion. The airplane moved suddenly to the left. The wing dipped down. People screamed. Bags fell down from the top of the airplane onto people's heads. Children cried. People grabbed the seats in front of them. Some people thought they were dying. Emma knew exactly what those sounds were. She had studied this in school. She had read about this in books. She had practiced this in flight simulators many times. But this was real. This was not practice. This was actually happening. Her training came back to her in that moment. Even though she was scared about flying, even though she wanted to be invisible, even though flying was connected to her father's death, her pilot brain woke up. She knew exactly what was happening. She understood what needed to be done. In the front of the airplane, Captain Michael Torres was fighting hard to keep the plane under control. The plane wanted to turn left because one engine was not working anymore. The captain had to pull the controls very hard. His muscles were shaking. Sweat was forming on his face. He had to use all his strength to keep the plane straight. If the plane turned left, it would crash. Beside him, First Officer David Chin was checking all the numbers and lights on the control board. There were many warning lights. Red lights everywhere. Everything was showing problems. Then something happened that made things worse. The plane shook so hard that David's head hit the window next to him. His head hit it hard. He fell back in his seat. Blood came from his forehead. His eyes became confused and blurry. He could not think clearly. His hands were shaking. His vision was not clear. Captain Torres looked at him with worry. "David? David, are you okay? Can you hear me?" David tried to answer, but his voice sounded weird and confused. His hands shook and moved slowly. He could not help the captain. He could not do his job. He was hurt. He was useless. Captain Torres was now completely alone. He had too much to do. He had to keep the plane level and not let it crash. He had to check all the systems to see what was broken. He had to call the air control center and tell them about the problem. He had to make important decisions about what to do next. He had to figure out where to land. He had to calculate if they had enough fuel. All of this needed two pilots working together. But he had only himself. And his first officer was hurt and could not help. And it was getting worse every second. The captain pressed a button. His voice came through every speaker on the airplane. His voice was trying to stay calm, but people could hear the fear in it. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain Torres. We have had a very serious problem with our engines. I need help right now. I need help immediately. Is there anyone here who is a pilot? Any pilots on this airplane? I am asking anyone with pilot training. Please tell the flight attendants immediately. This is not a game. This is a real emergency. Any pilots, please come to the front now. We need your help to save this airplane." The airplane went quiet for 1 second. People stopped moving. People stopped crying. Then people started screaming. People understood, something was really, really bad. They might die. Everyone on the plane might die. What would happen next? Did anyone have pilot skills? Would anyone stand up? Or would Captain Torres be alone to face this impossible situation? Most people did not know what to do. Some people prayed to God. Some people cried and held their children. Some people held their families and husbands and wives very tight. Some people thought about their families back home. Would they see them again? One person, though, knew exactly what to do. Emma Chen opened her eyes. She had been sitting with her eyes closed, trying to forget about flying. For the first time since the boarding, her face showed something. Something changed. Her face showed that she understood the danger. It showed that she knew what to do. Her empty face became focused. Her body changed completely. Her back got straight. Her shoulders went back. Her face got the look of a professional pilot. She unbuckled her seatbelt very slowly. She stood up. She moved with purpose and confidence. Not like someone scared. Like someone trained. The man next to her did not even notice. He was holding the seat in front of him with white hands. His face was very scared. His eyes were wide. He was thinking about his family. He was not paying attention to anything else. He did not see Emma at all. Emma walked toward the front of the airplane. She walked carefully through the aisle. Other people were confused. They looked at her. Who was this quiet girl? Why was she walking forward so calmly? Was she a pilot? How could she be a pilot? She looked so young. She had not talked to anyone the whole flight. She had been sitting alone. The main flight attendant was named Sarah Matthews. She was trying to help the other people on the airplane. She was trying to tell them to stay calm. She was trying to make sure no one was hurt badly. She was walking through the cabin trying to keep order. She saw Emma coming forward through the chaos. The emergency lights were flashing red. The alarm was still sounding. People were screaming. Sarah almost stopped Emma and told her to go back to her seat. But then she saw Emma's face. There was something in Emma's eyes. Something powerful. Something that said, I know what I am doing. I can help. I have done this before. I am a pilot, Emma said clearly. This was the first time she had spoken since she got on the airplane. Her voice was calm and strong. I have advanced training for emergencies. I am qualified for this aircraft. Tell the captain I am coming to the cockpit right now. Sarah believed her immediately. She did not know why she believed her so fast. But she did. There was something about Emma's voice. Something about her eyes. Something that made Sarah know this was true. Sarah spoke quickly into the radio that connects to the cockpit. Captain, there is a pilot here. She is coming to the front. A commercial pilot is coming to help you. The captain opened the special cockpit door from inside the cockpit. Emma walked forward. She moved with purpose and training. What she saw in the cockpit was not good. It was very bad. The first officer was sitting in the right seat, but his head was bleeding heavily and his eyes were not focused and looking in different directions. He was not useful. He could not help. Captain Torres was holding the control stick and his arms were shaking from working so hard for so long. His face was red from strain. His muscles were working at maximum power. The control board had many red lights. Red lights were flashing everywhere. Many systems were broken. Many things were not working. Numbers were showing dangerous problems. But Emma had been trained for this exact situation. She had practiced it many times. She had studied what to do when everything goes wrong. I am Emma Chen, she said to the captain, speaking quickly and clearly. I am a commercial pilot. I am trained on this aircraft, the Boeing 767. I was a pilot in the United States Air Force for 15 years. I taught other pilots how to handle emergencies and extreme situations. I have extensive experience with aircraft failures. I have practiced this many times. What is your current situation? Tell me everything. Captain Torres looked at her quickly. He was scared. He did not know her. He had never seen her before. But he had no choice. He needed help. He needed help right now or everyone would die. 2 engines have completely failed, he said quickly and urgently. Engine 1 and Engine 2 are both destroyed or damaged. The right side of the plane is still working okay. But the left side is destroyed. We have lost the hydraulic systems, those are the systems that help me move the controls and change the flaps and landing equipment. The hydraulic fluid is leaking. Everything is broken. The controls are very heavy. I cannot fly this plane alone much longer. My arms are getting tired. Emma nodded. She understood everything that he was saying. She had studied this. She knew what this meant. I am going to help you, she said with confidence. I am going to take the right seat. We are going to work together. Together we can do this. She helped the injured first officer out of his seat gently. She made sure he could move to the back where the flight attendants could help him. Then she sat down in his place. Her hands moved fast and sure. She knew exactly where everything was because she had trained on this exact aircraft. She checked all the numbers on the control board. She looked at all the lights. She understood what each one meant. She read the instruments. Her eyes moved from one instrument to another, taking in all the information. We have to do 3 important things very fast, she said to Captain Torres, speaking calmly but urgently. First, we have to turn this plane toward Denver Airport. That airport has long runways and good emergency equipment. We can reach it in about 1 hour if we fly correctly. Second, we have to make this plane go slower. The faster we go, the more stress on the broken parts. Too much stress and the wings could break off. Third, we have to prepare for the landing, a very difficult landing that we have never done before. Captain Torres felt hope come back into his heart. This woman knew exactly what she was doing. She had experience. She was trained. She was calm. You take the foot controls, Emma said, giving clear instructions. I will take the power controls and engine management. I will keep the plane balanced side to side. You keep the plane level front to back. We work together. We coordinate with each other. We communicate. We become one team with one purpose, to land this plane safely. For the next 35 minutes, Emma and Torres worked as a team. Emma's feet worked on the floor controls that moved the back of the plane left and right. She pressed them repeatedly, again and again, constantly making tiny adjustments. Her muscles burned, but she did not stop. Torres held the stick that moves the front and wings up and down. His muscles shook. His arms felt like they were going to break. But he did not stop either. They were a machine together. A machine that was fighting to keep the plane in the sky. Emma's legs started to hurt badly. Torres's arms felt like they were on fire. But they did not stop. They could not stop. Outside, other pilots in other airplanes heard the radio calls on their radios. They heard Captain Torres tell Denver Airport, "We have 2 engines down. We have significant damage to our hydraulic systems. We have a first officer who is incapacitated. We are coming in for an emergency landing. Please have all the emergency trucks ready. Please position fire trucks along the runway. We need all the help you can give us." Everyone was listening. Everyone was watching. The whole aviation world was watching to see what would happen to Flight 447. Denver Airport is about 112 miles away from where the engines failed. Emma calculated everything in her head while flying the damaged plane. She thought about how much fuel they had left. She thought about how fast they were going. She calculated what would happen if something else broke. She was doing advanced mathematics in her mind while also controlling the plane. "The landing will be dangerous," she told Captain Torres. "We need at least 7,000 feet of runway to land and stop. The Denver Airport has runway 34 right, which has 12,000 feet. That gives us only 2,000 feet of extra space. If anything goes wrong, if our brakes do not work perfectly, if we have any more system failures, we will crash at the end of the runway." "I know," Torres said. His voice was tired but determined. "But we have no choice. We cannot fly much longer. Our engines are overheating. I can see the temperature gauges going up. We need to land now." Emma called down to the people below on the ground. She spoke into the radio. "Denver Control, this is Flight 447. We are coming down now. We will land on runway 34 right. Please get all the fire trucks ready. Please position ambulances. The engines are very hot and damaged. There could be fire after we land. We are ready to descend." As the plane came down lower and lower, Emma and Torres could see the airport getting bigger. They could see the distinctive tent-like terminal roof that Denver Airport is famous for. They could see multiple parallel runways stretching across the high plains east of the city. They could also see something that made it very real, the flashing lights of dozens of emergency vehicles surrounding the approach end of runway 34 right. Red lights. Blue lights. Flashing lights everywhere. There were fire trucks and ambulances and police cars. There were rescue helicopters standing by. There were probably 50 or more vehicles waiting for them. The sight of those emergency vehicles made the danger absolutely real in a way that instrument readings and system failures had not. Captain Torres felt it in his stomach. Emma's jaw got tighter. They both understood, people thought they might die. People were preparing for a crash. The plane was at 500 feet above the ground now. Emma and Torres could see individual marks and numbers on the runway. They could see one man in a fire truck looking up at them. They could see the emergency workers standing near the runway. They could see everything very clearly. Emma called out the numbers. She spoke calmly and professionally. Her voice was steady and clear, 500 feet high. We are going 187 kilometers per hour. We are going down 600 feet every minute. We are perfect on the line we need to be on. I can see the runway, Torres said. His voice was steady now. He was a good pilot. He had done hard things before. He was ready. 200 feet, Emma said. Continue descent. Everything is good. 100 feet. 50 feet. You are doing great. Stay with me. Hold the line. 30 feet. Prepare for flare. Torres pulled back on the stick very slowly and carefully. The front of the plane went up just a little bit. This is called a flare. It is the final maneuver before landing. The back wheels touched the runway. Thump. The airplane landed. It was a hard landing. The whole plane shook. The impact was powerful. But the wheels were on the ground. They were no longer flying. They were on the runway. We are down. Emma shouted. Her first moment of emotion. Brakes. Maximum brakes. Everything now. Emma and Torres pushed down on the brake pedals as hard as they could. They used all their strength. They pulled on the speed brakes, special things on the wings that help slow you down by creating air resistance. The plane was going very fast down the runway. 300 kilometers per hour. Then 250. Then 200. The emergency trucks were moving beside them, ready to help if there was a fire. The firefighters were watching carefully. 150 kilometers per hour. The end of the runway was getting closer. 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 Every second counted. 80 kilometers per hour. Emma watched the runway distance countdown signs. Numbers showing how much runway was left. 10,000 feet left. Then 8,000 feet. Then 5,000 feet. The numbers got smaller. The plane was getting slower and slower. But was it slow enough? 1,500 feet of runway remained. The plane was almost stopped now. But was there still enough distance? They made it. The plane came to a complete stop with 1,500 feet of runway still left ahead of them. They were safe. They had landed successfully. Emma and Torres just sat there for a moment. They did not move. They did not talk. They could hear the fire trucks coming toward them. They could hear sirens. They could hear the sound of emergency vehicles moving fast. Then Emma started to shut down all the systems carefully. She did this very calmly and professionally, like they had just landed from a normal flight from Seattle to Denver. She turned off the engines one by one. She set the parking brake. She did everything she was supposed to do. She followed every procedure. She was still a professional pilot. Torres could not believe it. He started to cry. Tears came from his eyes. We did it, he said quietly, almost like he was talking to himself. We did it. We are alive. Everyone is alive. All 200 people are alive. Emma looked at him. For the first time since boarding, she smiled. A real smile. Yes, she said. We are alive. After the plane stopped completely, fire trucks quickly sprayed foam on the hot engines to make sure there would be no fire. The foam covered the engines. The temperature started to go down. Ambulances arrived. Emergency workers came on the plane. They took the injured first officer, David Chin, and some other people who were hurt to the hospital. They worked quickly and professionally. All the other 200 people got off the airplane slowly. They walked into the airport terminal. Some of them could barely walk because their legs were shaking. They were alive. They could not believe they were alive. Many of them thought they would die that day. But they survived. Some people started to cry. Some people hugged each other. Some people sat down on the floor and shook because they were so scared. Families held each other. Children cried. Adults held each other and thanked God. Then people started hearing something. Whispers at first. Then louder talking. There was a pilot. A pilot was on the airplane. A pilot had helped save everyone. A passenger pilot. Someone they had not even noticed. People started looking for Emma. When they found her, they wanted to touch her. They wanted to hug her. They wanted to say thank you. The quiet girl, the invisible girl, had become a hero in their eyes. A man from the local newspaper came and asked, "What is your name? How did you know what to do?" Emma did not like all this attention. It made her uncomfortable. She wanted to go back to being invisible. She wanted to disappear again. But she knew she had to answer their questions because people wanted to know. "My name is Emma Chen," she said. "I was a pilot in the Air Force for 15 years. I had to help. There was no one else who could help. So I did what I was trained to do. I did what any pilot would do in this situation." Captain Torres was being asked questions too. He was talking to many reporters and officials. He told everyone, "Emma saved us all. I could not have done it alone. If she had not stood up when the captain asked for pilots, we would all have crashed. She was the expert. She knew everything. She was the best pilot I have ever worked with. She was better than my first officer. She was the one who saved all 200 people." The newspapers wrote big stories. The television stations made videos and news reports. Emma's picture was on the evening news. Everyone wanted to know about her. People started recognizing her face. She got job offers. Airlines wanted her. Television wanted her to do interviews. But there was something else that came out during the interviews. People asked Emma, "Why were you not working as a pilot? Why were you sitting in the back of the plane like a regular passenger?" Emma did not want to talk about this. It was private. It was personal. But after what had happened, after she had saved everyone, she felt like she should be honest with people. 3 months ago, she said slowly, her voice getting quieter, "My father died. He died in a plane crash. He was a pilot too. He loved flying more than anything in the world. Flying was his life and his passion." People got quiet. They listened carefully. "He made a small mistake during an air show," Emma continued. "He was performing tricks in an airplane for people watching on the ground. Something broke in his plane. It was a small mechanical problem. He made one wrong decision in his emergency procedures. That one mistake was enough. His plane fell. He died." She paused. Tears came to her eyes but she did not cry. After that, Emma said, "I could not fly anymore. Flying made me think about my father. Flying made me scared. It made me remember that day. So I stopped flying. I quit my job in the Air Force. I quit everything. I did not know what to do. Today was supposed to be my first time being on an airplane as a passenger. I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it without being a pilot. I wanted to be just a normal person who travels on planes." She paused. "But then the engines exploded. And I was not a normal person anymore. I was a pilot. And I had to use my skills to save everyone on that plane." When people heard this story, they understood Emma better. They were not just saying, "Thank you," because she was brave and skilled. They were saying, "Thank you," because she had suffered. Because she had lost someone she loved. Because she had pain. But she still helped. She put her pain aside and helped. After that day, Emma got many job offers. Airlines from all over the country wanted her to work for them. Companies wanted to hire her. Aviation organizations wanted to give her awards. Many people wanted to hire her as a pilot again. But Emma was not sure about what to do. Flying was still scary to her. Even though the emergency had shown her that she was still good at flying, she was not sure if she was ready to fly every day. She talked to a doctor. The doctor helped her understand her fear. The doctor told her that fear is normal after losing someone. The doctor told her that she was brave. Then Captain Torres called her one day. His voice was warm and friendly. "Emma," he said, "I work for an airline company. I told our main pilot boss about you. I told him everything you did. He wants to hire you as a first officer. But he also told me something special." "What?" Emma asked. "I asked him to try to make our flight schedules the same," Torres said. "So that we could fly together on the same airplane. I told him I wanted to fly with you because I know what you can do. I know how good you are. I have flown with many first officers in my career, but no one was as good as you." He said yes. "If you take this job, maybe we can fly together." Emma thought about this carefully. She thought about flying with Captain Torres. She thought about being a pilot again. She thought about her father. She thought about his dreams for her. She said yes. 3 months later, Emma went back to work. She put on a pilot uniform that she had not worn in 3 months. She got her licenses back from the aviation authority. She trained on the airplane again. She studied everything again carefully. One day, she and Captain Torres were on the same airplane, the same type of plane where the emergency happened, a Boeing 767. They did a normal flight from New York to Los Angeles. Nothing went wrong. It was a boring flight. No problems. Just normal flying. And Emma loved it. The boring flight helped Emma understand something important. It showed her that flying was not always about emergencies and danger. Flying was mostly about doing your job well every single day. Flying was about being professional and careful. Flying was about helping people get where they want to go safely. After a few more months, Emma and Torres flew many flights together. They became the best flying team at their airline. Other pilots wanted to fly with them because they knew those two pilots were really good at their job. They were professionals. One day, Captain Torres asked Emma when they were on the ground, "Do you remember the day you were invisible? The day you sat in the back seat and nobody noticed you? Do you remember trying to disappear?" "Yes," Emma said. "I wanted to disappear. I wanted to not think about flying. I wanted to be nobody. I wanted to forget about my father." "And now?" Torres asked. "What do you want now?" Emma smiled and thought about this question carefully. "Now I am somebody. Now I am your first officer. Now I save people's lives. Now I help people get home safely. But more than that, now I am okay with being a pilot again. Now I understand that my father would have been happy to see this. He would have been proud of me. Flying is not only about death. Flying is also about helping people and living our lives." Torres smiled too. He understood what she was saying. On a Tuesday morning in September, Flight 447 took off from Seattle. A quiet girl sat in seat 24F. Nobody noticed her. Nobody talked to her. She was invisible. She did not want to be seen. She did not want to be part of the world. By Tuesday afternoon, that same quiet girl was a hero. She had saved 200 people. She had landed a broken airplane. She had proved herself to be one of the best pilots anyone had ever seen. She had changed everything. After that day, Emma Chen was not invisible anymore. People recognized her. People wanted to talk to her. People wanted to thank her. But she was still quiet by nature. She did not like being famous. She did not like people stopping her on the street. She did not like seeing her picture in the newspaper and on television. But she was happy. She was a pilot again. She was doing what she loved. She was helping people. She was living her life with purpose. Captain Torres and First Officer Emma Chen flew together for many years after that. They became the most famous pilot team in their airline. New pilots wanted to learn from them. People wanted to fly on their flights. Everyone knew their story. But Emma never forgot what it felt like to be invisible. She never forgot what it felt like to be scared. She never forgot what it felt like to lose someone you love. She never forgot her father. And she never forgot the moment when everything changed. The moment when Captain Torres asked from the cockpit, "Any pilots here?" And the quiet girl stood up. The quiet girl walked forward. The quiet girl took control. The quiet girl saved everyone. That moment changed Emma's life completely. That moment gave her back her purpose. That moment proved that sometimes the people we do not notice are the ones who can do the greatest things. Years later, when Emma was training young pilots, she would tell them, "Remember that you never know who is sitting next to you. The person you do not notice might be someone who changes your life. The quiet person might have the greatest skills. The person who seems invisible might be the hero that everyone needs." And that is the story of Emma Chen. The quiet girl from seat 24F. The girl who was invisible until the moment when she was needed most. The girl who proved that training, courage, and love for what you do can save lives.